Most traders fail their prop firm challenge before they place a single trade. Not because of their strategy, not because of bad luck, because of a decision they made in their head. The moment they purchase the challenge, a decision that quietly guarantees the outcome before the market even opens, they decided this challenge is the thing standing between them and a different life. They decided this is their shot, their moment. The thing that proves whether they're actually good at this or not. And the second that decision gets made, the challenge stops being a trading exercise and becomes something else entirely. A test of self-worth, a countdown clock with their identity attached to it. And a trader operating from that place will fail the challenge in a very specific, very predictable way. Even if their strategy is genuinely good enough to pass it by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why prop firm challenges have such a low pass rate, what the challenge is actually testing for that nobody tells you about, and the specific approach that separates traders who pass on their first attempt from traders who burn through challenge after challenge with the same account, the same strategy, and the same result. And the thing I'm going to show you at the end will completely change how you think about what these challenges are designed to do. Let's start with what a prop firm challenge actually is, because most traders misunderstand it at a fundamental level. You're not being tested on whether you can make money. You already know how to make money on a demo account under no pressure. Most traders can show a profitable equity curve when nothing real is at stake. That is not what the firm is evaluating. You're being tested on whether you can follow a specific set of rules, daily loss limits, maximum drawdown, consistency requirements, sometimes minimum trading days under conditions that are deliberately designed to tempt you into breaking them. The challenge is not a math problem. It is a psychological pressure test wearing the costume of a math problem. This is why traders with excellent strategies fail constantly. Their strategy was never the bottleneck. Their behavior under the specific pressure the challenge creates was the bottleneck, and they never trained for that pressure because they assumed the challenge was just an extension of their regular trading. It is not. The rules change the psychology entirely, and if you don't understand how, you will keep failing for reasons that have nothing to do with your edge. Here is the first pressure most traders don't see coming. The profit target creates a finish line, and finish lines change behavior in ways that hurt you. When you trade your own account with no target, every good trade is simply a good trade. There's no number you're racing toward, but the moment a prop firm gives you a specific profit target with a deadline attached, your brain starts doing something it doesn't do in normal trading. It starts measuring distance to the goal distance. To a goal creates urgency. And urgency is the single biggest threat to a trader's process because urgency makes good setups feel too slow and mediocre setups feel tempting simply because they're available right now. Here's how this actually plays out. You're 70% of the way to your profit target with 10 trading days left. As setup appears that's close to your criteria, but not quite there. Under normal trading conditions, you'd pass on it without hesitation. But with a finish line in view and a clock running, that same setup suddenly looks different. Your brain reframes close enough is good enough to keep momentum going. You take it. It doesn't work. And now you've not only lost money, you've lost trading days you can't get back. And the pressure on every subsequent trade has gone up. The traders who pass challenges consistently have done something specific to neutralize this. They remove the finish line from their daily awareness entirely. They do not calculate percentage to target during the session. They do not watch a progress bar. They define their daily process exactly as they would on any other day. And they let the profit target be something that gets reached as a side effect of good trading, not something they are actively chasing. This single shift refusing to trade toward the target and instead trading your process and letting the target arrive on its own schedule is one of the most underrated skills in passing a challenge. But it's not the only pressure working against you. There's a second one that's even more dangerous because it shows up disguised as caution. The second pressure is the drawdown trap, and this is the one that ends more challenges than any other single factor. Every prop firm challenge has a maximum drawdown rule, a specific amount you cannot lose either in a single day or across the account before your disqualifier. This looks like a simple risk management constraint in practice. It changes how traders behave in a way that almost guarantees they hit it. Here's why. Once a trader takes their first loss or two on the challenge, the drawdown limit stops being an abstract rule and becomes a live countdown, and a live countdown creates a specific kind of fear. The fear of getting disqualified, that is psychologically different from the normal fear of losing money. Normal trading losses feel like setbacks. Drawdown limit losses on a challenge feel like a verdict, like proof you're not good enough. And when a loss feels like a verdict instead of a setback, traders do one of two things, both of which make the situation worse. Some traders freeze. They become so afraid of touching the drawdown limit that they start hesitating on valid setups, reducing size far below what their plan calls for, or skipping trades they would normally take without question. Their fear of disqualification becomes so large that it functions exactly like a disqualification. They stop trading their actual edge and start trading scared, which produces worse results than just following the plan would have. Other traders do the opposite. They panic and try to recover the drawdown quickly, increasing position size to make back losses faster, which is precisely the behavior that triggers the drawdown rule and ends the challenge. The rule that was designed to protect them from catastrophic loss becomes the very thing they violate while trying to avoid feeling like a failure. Here's the reframe that fixes this. The drawdown limit is not a cliff you're trying not to fall off. It's a budget. Specifically, it's a risk budget for the entire challenge period, and your job is to spend that budget slowly and intentionally across your designed number of trades, never trying to save it by avoiding valid setups, and never burning through it quickly by trying to force a recovery. The traders who pass treat every single trade as one unit of a pre-calculated budget. They know in advance exactly how many losing trades in a row their plan can absorb before any real danger appears. That number is calculated before the challenge starts, not discovered with fear in the moment a loss happens. When you know your budget precisely, a loss is just an expected expense. When you don't know it, every loss feels like it could be the one that ends everything. And that feeling is what causes the freeze or the panic. There's a third pressure that almost nobody talks about, and it's specific to challenges with a consistency requirement or a minimum number of trading days. I call it the artificial activity trap. Some firms require you to trade a minimum number of days, or they monitor for consistency, meaning they don't want to see one massive lucky trade carrying your entire result while the rest of your days are flat or negative. This sounds reasonable on paper. In practice, it creates a strange psychological problem. It pushes traders to manufacture activity on days when the market genuinely isn't offering anything. You wake up on day 6 of your challenge, the market is quiet, nothing matches your criteria, but you're aware somewhere in the back of your mind that you need trading days logged, or that an empty day might look bad for the consistency metric. So you find something, you lower your standards slightly just for today, just to log activity. This is the same close enough trade problem that destroys regular trading accounts, except now it's being driven by a rule designed to encourage good behavior, twisted into justifying bad behavior. The fix here is simple, but requires discipline most traders don't apply. Read the specific rules of your firm before you start. Understand exactly what the minimum trading days requirement actually demands. Usually it just means you are active in the market on a certain number of days, not that you took a trade and separate logging a trading day from forcing a trade. Often simply having your platform open, reviewing the market, and making a genuine no-trade decision satisfies the requirement. Read the actual rule. Don't assume the worst version of it and trade scared of a misunderstanding. Now let's talk about something almost no trader does before starting a challenge, and it's the single biggest predictor of who passes and who doesn't. They never simulate the exact conditions in advance. Most traders prepare for a challenge by reviewing their strategy, checking their win rate, making sure their setup criteria are solid, all useful. But none of it prepares you for the specific psychological environment of a profit target and a drawdown limit running simultaneously, because a regular trading account doesn't have either of those things pressing on you in real time. Here's what actually prepares you before you spend money on a real challenge. Run a complete simulation under the exact rules. Same profit target percentage, same maximum drawdown, same daily loss limits, same minimum trading days if applicable. Track it exactly as if real money and a real evaluation were on the line. Write down your emotional state during each session. Note every moment you felt the pull to take a close enough trade because of the target or freeze, because of the drawdown. This simulation will reveal things about your psychology under this specific pressure that no amount of regular trading will show you. Because regular trading doesn't have a clock and a verdict attached to it. You will likely discover your relationship with losses changes once a drawdown limit is counting down. That discovery made in a simulation with nothing real at stake is incredibly cheap. The same discovery made during a paid challenge attempt costs you the challenge fee, and more importantly, costs you confidence you'll need for the next attempt. The traders who pass on their first real attempt are very often the traders who failed the simulation first, quietly, privately, with no money lost and adjusted before it counted. Let's bring this together into the actual approach you take once you're in a live challenge. Before you take a single trade, you separate the challenge into two completely different objects in your mind. There's the financial target the firm has set, and there's your process, your setup criteria, your risk per trade, your daily and weekly behavior rules. Your only job every single day is to protect and execute the process. The financial target is not your job. It is a byproduct that happens automatically if the process is executed correctly across enough trading days. You calculate your risk budget before day one. You know exactly how many losing trades and sequence your plan can survive before the drawdown limit becomes a real concern. And you treat every loss within that budget as fully expected, not alarming, not a signal to change anything. You do not track your percentage to the profit target during live sessions. You check it, if at all, only at the end of the week during a calm review, never while a trade is open, never while you're deciding whether to take a setup. You read the firm's specific rules in detail before starting, especially around consistency requirements and minimum trading days, so you're never operating off an assumed worst-case version of a rule that doesn't actually require what you fear it requires. And if at all possible, you run the entire structure as a simulation first, same numbers, same limits, same tracking. So the first time you feel the unique pressure of a profit target and a drawdown limit running together is not also the first time real money and a real evaluation are on the line. This is the entire difference between traders who pass and traders who don't. It is almost never the strategy. It is whether the trader understood going in that the challenge is measuring behavior under a specific kind of engineered pressure and prepared for that pressure directly instead of assuming a good strategy would carry them through it automatically. Here's what I want you to sit with as you go into your next attempt, whether it's your first or your fifth. The firm is not your opponent. The profit target is not a finish line you're racing against the clock to reach. The drawdown limit is not a cliff edge waiting to catch you off guard. All three of these are simply the specific shape of pressure this particular format applies, and pressure, once you can name its exact shape, stops being mysterious and starts being something you can prepare for directly. You already know how to wait for a setup. You already understand consistency. What a challenge adds is a clock and a verdict. Don't change the way you execute the process you already trust. The traders who treat the challenge as just another trading day with extra rules attached are the ones who pass it like it's nothing. The traders who treat it as a referendum on their worth as a trader are the ones who turn a solvable structure into an emotional minefield and lose to the pressure long before the market ever had a chance to beat them. But understanding the pressure of the challenge itself is only half of what determines whether you make it through. There's a separate question that comes right after what happens to your psychology the moment you actually pass, get funded, and suddenly real payouts are on the line. Because passing the challenge and trading a funded account, well, are two completely different psychological games. And most traders who clear the challenge fall apart at exactly that next step for reasons they never saw coming. That's exactly what the next video covers. Watch it now, because passing the challenge means nothing if you lose the funded account in the first month for the same reasons. You almost lost the challenge itself.